It's time for a show with soul that will knock you on your behind. Folks, we're literally jumping through hoops and hammering the humor home with sweet surprises for the whole family. We're selling laughs cheap on life's funniest moments. We've got a downhill dud and a future football stud. Graceful feet and a strongman's feet. A cake in the face and a speedy, snowy race. All on life's funniest moments. When the workday is done, time to kick off your shoes and indulge in some playtime. Jasper was excited for Halloween. So excited that he'd forgotten all about trick-or-treating. He was just happy to hang around and haunt the den for a while. You better start going door to door soon, however. Being a ghost doesn't mean you can't be hungry. Henrietta was an aspiring magician with an affinity for card tricks. But like a lot of amateur magicians, she was prone to make some mistakes, such as not wearing enough clothing. A magician needs flashy garb to distract her mark from the machinations of magic. Let's face it, it's pretty hard to say nothing up my sleeve when you're not wearing any sleeves. It's a proven fact that girls mature faster than boys, but did you know that girls don't get as dizzy as boys? Just ask Lenny. You might want to give him a minute, though. A rolling stone gathers no moss, so learn from Brittany's mistake here. You should only step on stones that are moving. Benjamin loved his new truck. But he loved the box it came in a lot more. Sure, the truck was shiny and could be rolled all over the house, but the box could be whatever Benjamin wanted it to be. Right now, it's a spaceship, and Benjamin's flying to the store to buy another truck. It might seem a little unorthodox, but technically there are no real rules to musical chairs. That all but guarantees a victory for Trevor over Daryl in this final round of their best of 101 parlor games battle. If only Daryl had winked his tiddly faster, he'd be king of the den right now. Ed would do practically anything to avoid paying the $5 park admission fee, up to and including this. Way to save $5, Ed. Some couples get a little carried away on their wedding day and, on a whim, smash cake in each other's faces. Something tells me this incident took a little more planning. Here are some folks who just can't keep their talents to themselves. Look what they can do. Skis? Oh, Jerry wasn't a fan of skis. Seemed like a lot of effort, standing on your own two legs, supporting your weight and all. But an inner tube, that was the life. Lounging, relaxing, able to relax even at high speeds. Until that goof Frank decided to take the corner like a semi-truck pulling into an alley. But Jerry was the trusting sort and willing to give Frank another... Frank! Willie had wanted to be a footballer since he was born, but he just wasn't sure he had the talent for it. His passing wasn't crisp. He couldn't kick with both feet, and worst of all, he kept falling. Sure, it was rough to play on this uneven pitch, but Willie still had hope. Carl is a volunteer fireman, and it's hard for him to keep his mind off of fire safety, as demonstrated here by his dip, drop, and roll technique. In gymnastics, even the slightest weight gain can throw off your game. That's why there's a team breakfast, so the coach can monitor what everyone is eating. Looks like Kevin had an extra piece of toast this morning. 3 little jumpers jumping on the stage, all trying not to act their age. The rope goes round, the boys go up, except Roy in the middle, who always messes up. Hey, look at Barbara. She's a dance school graduate. Actually, she needs to finish up some classes this summer. Let's see that again. Why does this porcupine dance alone? Well, let's face it. Would you dance with a porcupine? Coming up, a hand truck crashes and a cue ball curves. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. Water, water everywhere. Plenty of drops around for fun. Chester had resigned himself to the fact that he would have to take 1 bath a week, and he wanted to get it over as soon as possible. But this week, it looks like the car comes first. This made Chester crazy, mainly because since he knew it was his bath day, he had gone out and rolled in the trash for a few hours, figuring he'd be clean again in no time. But for now, the car gets the wash, while for Chester, the stink remains. Even domestic birds like Sally and Cindy like to pretend they're in the wild every now and then. So Mama Maloney sets up this makeshift bird bath for the girls so they can feel like they're roughing it. Later, she'll let the cat chase them around the house for a while. It's all part of the keeping them happy while keeping them safe program. The personal ad was very clear. Single, multicolored bird in search of companion to make his feathers shine. Must be interested in mutual cuddle boning, reading the newspaper from the perch, and taking long, luxurious walks in the rain. Or the faucet, whichever is handy. A love of seed is appreciated, with the occasional worm thrown in for variety. Send all replies to P.O. Box... Or just fly through the window. My cage door is always open. Come on, who wants a cracker? Let's hope they live happily ever after. Although there's a trough of fresh water inside her pen, Gwendolyn prefers to drink rainwater. Well, not only does it carry the taste of nature, but its natural properties keep her coat shiny and her eyes clear and bright. Just look at that face. Thanks to her taste for rainwater, you'll never call this goat gruff. Hit the rewind button, because we're checking out some of your favorite clips with Life's Funniest Moments Rewind. Here's some etiquette for attending a weightlifting event. No flash photography. Don't sit too close, and please, don't heckle the weightlifter. Let's see that again. Next time, keep your comments about his hairline to yourself. For Fiona, this game is called Whack-A-Mole. But for her daughter Frida, it's called Whack Mommy's Thumb. I hope Fiona got a first aid kit for Christmas. Matt had a tradition. He would choose one employee a week to receive his Rat of the Week award for excellence of performance. Unfortunately for Matt, not everyone shared his affinity for rats. Looks like Gloria didn't appreciate being Rat of the Week. It's another typical birthday party, children laughing and singing, everyone enjoying themselves. And then the piñata made its move. There would be no candy today, my friends. Just revenge.
Oh, got me a new hand try.
Oh, I can get mine back.
There's a sticker on there that says 900-pound limit.
1,000-pound limit or
900-pound limit. Get on there and lift it.
Maybe they should have one that says, "This is not a ride." Ah, the piñata. Give her a fun to children during birthday parties since the dawn of time. Smash them open and enjoy their bounty, sharing the sweets with... Hey, where you going? Where you going? I said, sharing the sweets. Who do you think you are? Think of your friends, man. Aren't your lifelong friends worth a handful of licorice and a lollipop? Oh, the humanity. Reggie was a filmmaker, and a good one at that. But while his films were enchanting to some, there were still some who found the subject matter too dark, or the narrative too dark, or the lighting too dark, or the picture too dark. Well, that all changed when Reggie teamed with famed cinematographer Dune Boudoir, who taught Reggie that you can still be effective telling a dark story from a light point of view. You might say Dune lit up Reggie's life. Remember, just because the spinning stops on the outside, it doesn't mean it stops on the inside. If he was a slot machine, I think a jackpot would come shooting out of him any second now. Benny here proves that once you learn the curveball, you never lose it, no matter what sport you're playing. Little girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. And so is this cake. Maybe that's why Christina is so happy to eat it. Consuming this cake just increases the amount of sugar and spice and everything nice inside of her. Of course, she might be getting a little carried away. Christina? Chrissy? You're getting sugar and spice and everything nice all over the kitchen. After this party, Mommy's gonna need bleach and a rag and some soap. Coming up, a girl gets a lift. And a guy who needs a bath. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. And a little child shall lead them right into hysterics. The girls had hogged the dance floor long enough. It was time for Marco to get a turn. And another turn. And another turn. Wow, Marco's really got this dancing thing down flat. The only thing that cools you down faster than eating ice cream is wearing ice cream. Oh, maybe next time we'll just have cake. With Tevye burning up with fever, it was Sydney the understudy's big break. Would he have what it takes? Apparently not. The expression is break a leg, not your face. At the class picture, instead of the kid saying cheese, the photographer should be saying, go to your neutral corner. It was a posing battle, and while little Greta may have won, the real losers were the parents, who had to wait until next year for a picture with a smile. One thing about being born into the Flying Grimaldi family, even as a baby, you're always working on the act. Theo's parents often said he'd forget his own head if it weren't attached. So when the big dance number came around, they wanted to make sure he had every advantage, and they pinned his dance partner to a sleeve. Sure, it restricted his moves, but it made sure that Theo wouldn't take an unscheduled solo. The upside of Glenn's new vitamins was that he felt 10 years younger. The downside? He wasn't really 10 years younger. Oh, let's see that again. Think of this show as a day spa for your funny bone, gratuity included. When a skunk in Europe sprays you, forget tomato juice. The villagers dump you in a mud puddle and scrub you until the smell is gone. Sometimes it takes weeks. Daisy hated taking baths, but she could shower for hours. Sometimes she'd get dirty on purpose. Well, she's a dog. She always gets dirty on purpose. But the point is, she loves showers. In a regular spa, this treatment would cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But Janice here has found a way to get her wrapped and eat it too. No, seriously, she's going to eat the seaweed when she's finished. Coming up, it's no joke. These guys have fun down cold. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. How do you sled when there are no hills? Well, you build a super-powered sledding machine. It's the greatest innovation in winter fun since the snowboard. Now, if they could only figure out how to stop.